The Milwaukee Bucks are coming off a disappointing second round series where they lost to the Miami Heat in 5 games. The Bucks held the first seed in the East last season, and they are looked to be the favorites to come out of the East in 2021, led by their MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. This team has made some moves in their roster to help push them in the right direction as championship contenders, and they had to make moves to maximize the chances that Giannis stays with the Bucks. He has yet to sign his Supermax extension, and he may not sign it at all and opts to test free agency. If this team does fail to make a finals appearance or get booted in an early round, then this may be Giannis's final season with the Bucks. This team lost Wesley Matthews, Robin Lopez, Sterling Brown, and Ersan Ilyasova in the offseason, but they pulled off a 4-team trade with New Orleans Pelicans, Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Denver Nuggets for Jrue Holiday and getting the 60th pick in the draft in Sam Morrell. They traded Eric Bledsoe, George Hill, 3 future first-round picks, and 2 draft pick swaps. This was a win-now move with giving up those picks. Jrue Holiday has always been an underrated player who was snubbed from an All-NBA defensive team last season, and Jrue is a guy who can give you 20 points, be a facilitator, and play some really great defense. He's a more of a borderline all-star player, but he's a piece that can help your team push you into championship contenders. Jrue Holiday in the playoffs really stepped up his play, and he was credited with being a force on defense against the Blazers in 2018. Eric Bledsoe was a guy who really wasn't consistent with the Bucks, and his playoff performances really held back the Bucks. George Hill was a veteran for this team who was a good 3-point shooter but showed some inconsistency last season with his production, and really struggled to be a difference maker for the Bucks in the playoffs against Miami. They did replace Hill with another veteran in DJ Augustin, who isn't really a game-changing signing, but can be a reliable backup point guard that can help run the offense, score, shoot the ball, and be a key contributor off the bench. Small and crafty overall player that is a really good ball handler, and the second unit should be in good hands having a guard like him come off the bench and be a reliable guy for them. This team drafted Jordan Nwora and Sam Morrell in the second round of the draft. The team still kept Dante DiVincenzo after a botched trade with the Sacramento Kings for Bogdan Bogdanovic. The Bucks also re-signed Pat Connaughton and brought in a stretch power forward to back up Giannis in Bobby Portis. Portis, not much of a defensive guy, but can be an efficient offensive piece who can help stretch the floor. And with Giannis on this team, you have to surround him with a whole bunch of shooters everywhere, and they have to be respectable ones. They also brought in a shooting threat in Bryn Forbes on a 2-year deal, and he adds more to the guard depth, but his defense is suspect, but his main selling point is that he can shoot the 3 ball at a high level, and that's what the Bucks need more of. Forbes can handle the ball a bit, wouldn't rely on him to be a set ball handler, but he can do it from time to time. The Bucks also brought in Torrey Craig from the Nuggets, who is a good defender, but doesn't give you much production from the offensive end and isn't much of a 3-point shooter. He shot it at 32% from 3 last season. He does need to boost his 3-point percentage, but overall he's just a defender who can guard multiple positions if you need him to. The starting lineup should be Jrue Holiday, Dante DiVincenzo, Chris Middleton, Giannis, and Brook Lopez. That's a great defensive lineup there, and I expect this team to be a top 3 defensive team again and a top 10 offensive team. Maybe they have Dante come off the bench and let DJ be the main point guard and slide Jrue Holiday to the shooting guard slot, but the main options will be Giannis, Middleton, and Holiday. Now, this team is great in the regular season, and at this point it is expected they will be great in the regular season, but what really matters with this team is the postseason. They did upgrade over Eric Bledsoe, and he can't be a scapegoat anymore. This team is capable of making it to the finals, but they really have to show consistency in the playoffs. Giannis has to at least show more perimeter skills in his game, something he has been criticized a lot with. But I expect him to go out, give an MVP performance, and be the man for this team. The Bucks really had an under-the-radar offseason, and they did so with really little assets to make huge changes. I think the Jrue Holiday trade was really good for this team. I like the role pieces they brought in to complement the team. Coach Bud really has to adjust his style of play in the playoffs depending on who they face. He has options, just has to execute and maximize his team's talent. This season, if everyone is healthy, there can't be any more excuses for this team. They have the tools next to Giannis to make the NBA Finals.